It's my absolute pleasure to have as my special guest on a ringside seat with Tassie. He, how can I say this? He's known by all. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Multiple division champion, future Hall of Famer. He's done everything. He's fought everyone in his era. The Flash, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire. Thanks for being on ringside seat with Tassie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, mate. And yeah, how's life, mate? How's everything going?
Life is great, just it's a lot of realization for this year and things I want to do this year.
Yeah, no, that's great, my friend. So let's get into it. You've had an outstanding career, and it's obviously not finished yet either. You're definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when you decide to hang up the gloves. That's guaranteed. So let's start off. Obviously, you were born in the Philippines, and let's go on from there, mate, from your childhood into boxing.
It's funny because in the Philippines, it was a hard living. We didn't really have much, but I started boxing when I was in the U.S. There was a lot of bullying going around, and my father wanted me to learn how to protect myself.
Yeah. Okay. And then and what age did you move to California?
I was about 10 years old or so.
Yeah.
And maybe when I was 11 is when I started boxing.
Yeah, you and your brother, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's the oldest out of you two? He's older?
He's older than me, yes, by 3 years.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was reading before you had about 80 odd amateur fights or something like that. 60
Yes.
to 80, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I think I was 88 and 8 or something like that.
Yeah. And obviously, and then you turned pro, and I think you signed with Jackie Callan to start off
Yes.
with. Yep.
Yes, I started with Jackie, and unfortunately that didn't, materialize in terms of how my career was going, but it led to something bigger as well.
Yeah, and did you go back to the Philippines with your brother for a little bit for a time as well to focus more?
Yeah, about 2001 or so, we came back out there to try to create more fights and stuff like that. So I fought there for about a year, and then I came back again and stopped for a little bit in 2002 through 2003 to 2004. Got back into it, and then it was an on and off kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
And then 2005 6 is when I really got serious with it, and then 2007 is when I got the title.
2007, you went up against my former teammate, the Raging Bull, Vic Darchinyan. When I turned pro under Jeff Fennick and Billy Hussein, I used to spar Vic. Probably done 100 rounds of Vic over the year, from 2001 onwards. So yeah, you got your title shot. He was the man at the time. He was knocking everyone out, and tell me about that fight, and tell me about the experience, and then the feeling of becoming world champion. I think it was IBF and IBO world champion.
I just came out there. I trained very hard for that fight. And then, it was more of like a short notice kind of thing. They couldn't find an opponent for Vic, so they had asked me if I can make 112. I'm like, I've been wanting to fight at that weight class for the longest time. He said I couldn't get nobody to fight me in that weight class, and so I got this opportunity to fight. And really, what I could remember in that fight or in the press conference was he really pissed me off. That was it. And I think that was a bad choice for him when he pissed me off, because I didn't care about winning or losing. I just wanted to hurt him. That was a thing because what pissed me off was, I didn't care that he beat my brother. It's in boxing ring, but
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then he went and brought this helmet from Australia, from you guys, that it's a knight's helmet. And he said, even though I'll wear it, he'll still knock me out. And from that point on, I just turned, and from that moment, I just wanted to hurt him. That's all I really care about. And after I won, I knocked him out. it didn't hit me until the referee stopped it. And when the referee stopped it, that's when all the joy and all this thing that you just can't describe. It was just crazy. I was so excited. I was up. I was just like, I was over the moon. It's
Yeah.
very, very hard to express.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, it's a great victory, obviously, and a defining moment in your career, especially. Obviously, you broke a lot of Australian and a million people's hearts. But yeah, no, I know Vic very well. He does. At that time, he was. There's anyone ever to think they're invincible, it was definitely Vic. He had this touch of invincibility about him and everything he'd done, and I don't think he'd ever dream of being knocked out. But I mean, that was the way it is, mate. So you went on, obviously, after that. You made a few defences. Luis Malidio, Mathalu, Rul Marquez, Concepcion. You had quite a few defences. How many defences did you have of the IBF title?
I think 4 now, and then I moved up in weight.
Yeah,
And
you won the
WBA. The WBA, and then I moved up in weight after that, trying to chase a rematch with Vic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
yes.
oh yeah, and obviously you knocked out Fernando Montiel. That's another good fighter. WBC and WA bantamweight titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about WBA?
What can you tell me about that fight? Because he was a well-known, Mexican.
That guy was knocking everybody out.
Yeah.
For me, I was just more. I think in all of my fights in my entire career, that fight was the one I was very nervous on. I was very nervous in that fight, but at the same time, I had this game plan that I was gonna knock him out in the second round, and that's exactly what happened. But I was very nervous in that fight because I couldn't make any mistakes because I knew how to get him. I just didn't want that mistake because if I got hit with that mistake, if I made a mistake, then I would have been the one on the floor. So, but yeah, we planned for that fight. I planned for the whole thing and that, and got the victory.
It's sometimes it's not bad when you're in against a puncher. You know you can't make any mistakes, so you're sharp and you're on edge. And sometimes it's not a bad thing because you're not going to fall asleep in the fight. You're going to be switched on for every second of every minute of every round. So you can't make no mistakes. And I guess that's a lot of guys when they fight you too. Because where'd you get this left hook from, man? Seriously, it's one of the best left hooks
It's funny because I tried the left hook for so long. It took me about 8 years to really learn it. I learned it from Alexis Arguello.
Read that. Yeah, that's all.
Felix
What a legend.
Trinidad.
Yeah, Trinidad, God.
And of course, Mike Tyson,
Yeah, well, you've had 3 of the best teachers.
Yeah, with the left hook, right.
Three unbelievable people. Gee, Trinidad, mate, his left hook, God, yeah. Yeah, no. And I used to love Alexis. He was unbelievable. Probably doesn't get spoken about enough. I mean, the casuals probably don't really know much about him, but I mean, he was a great, great champion. Great champion.
Absolutely.
And then you went on Omar, Narváez, Vasquez Jr., Jorge Mathalabal. You obviously very good fighters. You retained your belts there. I think you must have picked up the WBO as well, and the Ring Magazine super bantamweight title as well. And then you knocked out Jorge Arce, another great Mexican.
Yeah. Arce and I wanted to fight for a long time, and we just had an opportunity during that time, and it was an incredible year for me. I've fought 3 championship or 4 championship in that fight or in that year.
That's I remember that year. That's the year you got fighter of the year, yeah.
Yes.
I remember that year clearly, and I told everyone you were going to get. I mean, that was a great year. I mean, 4 fights, and good names too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that year. Like, as I said, like, what an amazing year. I mean, obviously getting that honor of becoming Boxer of the Year. Like, what did that mean to you?
That meant a lot to me. That means I accomplished my goal of being a fighter, during that time.
Manny, Floyd, all these big names, Canelo, all in the same era. And you've outdone them all that year. Yeah.
Yeah. It was incredible, man. That was a really blessed year for me. It was an amazing year for me.
Mm. And also, too, on the topic of Manny Pacquiao, how big of inspiration has he been to you, being Filipino, like everything he's achieved?
What was that?
Manny Pacquiao, how big of inspiration has he been to you, like
Oh
being a
yeah,
fellow
definitely.
Filipino?
He's an incredible part of every Filipino's career. I mean, when I started fighting, they wouldn't sign me because they always said that Filipino can't crack an egg. They would always say that Filipinos are not good fighters until Manny showed up, and that's when
Not true.
yeah. Well, that's what they were saying during that time in
Filipinos are great
2000.
fight. Always been
Yeah,
great fight. Always been great fighters. If you know again, you're in against a Philo. I fought a couple. Mate, they're all strong. They all can hit, and they're all there to win. So I mean, that's crazy.
yeah. Well, that's what it was. The
Yeah,
reputation in the United States
in the States. Yeah,
was that Filipinos, didn't really have the ability to be
Mm.
on a different scale until
Yeah,
Pacquiao showed up.
yeah. That's great. Obviously, then you fought Rigondeaux, obviously an amazing Cuban fighter. Tell me about that fight and what you took out of that fight.
Um, that fight was just more of like I got what I wanted in boxing. A couple of days before is when I got the award as the best fighter of 2012. And so for me, I was just kind of it felt like I've already won. And
Yeah,
so when I fought, I was just kind of flowing with it, and I think that was the biggest thing because I felt very complacent.
yeah.
I didn't really get that hunger that got me as the fighter of the year. And that's a big thing when it comes down to fighting. You gotta have that hunger.
Happens to a lot of fighters. You know what I mean? Like the great Marvin Hagler said it's hard to get up at 5 a.m. and run when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. But I
So
mean,
pajamas.
I'm not saying you were sleeping in silk pajamas, but of course, when you're on top of the world and I mean, everything. Like I mean, one of the only people to ever, I think, get to have everything but still trains like he's broke is probably Floyd, because I mean, not many people can stay on top for that long. You know what I mean? Because it's very hard at that level. But Rigondeaux is an amazing, one of the greatest amateurs of all time, and a Cuban legend, obviously. So, and you knocked him down in the 10th. Was that correct? Or
I think so. It's
yeah,
been too long.
yeah, I know. Yeah. And then you fought Vic again in a rematch finally.
Yeah. Oh, he whooped my ass in that fight. I was
Yeah, you
sick as a
too.
dog. I
Oh,
was sick
okay.
as a dog. I had this flu. The fight was gonna get canceled. And they said that if I test, it'll pop because of the medicine that you've been taking and stuff like that. And so I said, you know what, I'm canceling it. And then they said, you know what, let's work with it. It'll be fine. And so that's why I couldn't react. I couldn't react at all in that fight. I got cracked so many times. I've never. I think that was the worst beating that I have in boxing. Was
Really?
that fight? Oh yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah. That was the worst beating I've had in boxing. Um, um, yeah, because I couldn't react. I mean, I took every punch. Usually, if I'm able to react, I'll make a miss or I'll turn around. I'll make it slip, stuff like that. But that fight, I couldn't react at all. It was that moment that my wife came in and told me, "Hey, you're losing the fight. You better go out there." And the last two rounds, which was the ninth round or the 10th round or one of those, I um I just said, you know what, forget this. I got this 2 rounds. I'm gonna make it the best that I can. And fortunately, I got him then, and because or else it would have beaten me.
The
But
left, the
because
left hook again.
he wanted that knockout so bad that he
It
opened
did.
up for it.
Yeah.
And I got him. But yeah, that was the worst beating that I have in boxing history of all of my
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, wow. And like going back to, I mean, both fights. Vic, I mean, I know he hit hard. I sparred him with 16-ounce gloves, a bit different, and I was a little bit heavier. Vic's power, like, if he felt his power, like in both
He
fights,
had a
or
heavy
how'd you?
hand.
Yeah,
He had a heavy hand. I was able to take the punches. But he'll crack me really good. I took it. I took those punches straight, and it wasn't like I dodged them. I took those punches really well.
yeah,
But I was surprised. I was still standing, knowing that I was beaten up like crazy for that fight. But I still got the win, and that was it.
The left hook got you out of trouble again.
Yes. And it went the same way as it did in
I know. I remember that fight,
2007.
and yeah, that would have, because he was that would have again, it would have been a disappointing night for Vic's team. You went up to featherweight and you become the undisputed featherweight champion.
No, just unified.
Well, I was sorry, not undisputed, but you won the WBA title, yeah, like
I was just unified, and I came back down,
unified.
back up,
that's right, yeah.
So the most that I really got was 3 belts in one. And
it's very hard to do undisputed, mate, with sanctioning bodies, mandatory challenges. It's very hard to even if you do get them, you'll probably get one strip straight away. It's very hard to hold on
to
the
balance
4
them
belts.
out. Yeah.
And but that's amazing. Up at featherweight, was that the heaviest you fought? Oh no, you fought a super featherweight as well. You fought
featherweight is the heaviest I got.
The featherweight,
126. And to me, that was way too big for me.
Yeah,
it was way too big.
Yeah, 100%.
And then after the Frampton fight, I just said, you know what, I can't. I'm gonna go back down. And fortunately, there was a WBSS series, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
I got there. Brian Burnett, and then it was supposed to be Zolani Tate, but
Stephen Young.
He claimed an injury, and then of course the monster. So
the fight of the year. I remember watching that. Live. That was an amazing fight, and look, no one's gave him a fight like that in his life, and mate, you fought above yourself that night. I mean, because it's safe to say that obviously it's very later in your career, and up and down in weights, and you put on a performance like that against a guy that's terrorized everyone. I mean, even in the loss to you, that was a great performance, Nonito. Because I mean, as I said,
that's what I do. I fight. I fight the best that I can.
I know.
So
but you showed everyone he was human that night.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'll get him again.
Yeah, 100%.
At least I'm lining myself up for that, at least.
Yeah. No, that was unbelievable. Going back to the Frampton fight, I mean, you had him on the back foot a lot that night. That was, the scorecards and all that. You was in that fight. That was,
I was just kind of floating in that fight. It was just one of those. Should I stop or should I keep going?
Yeah.
Should I stop? Should I keep going? And and then it came to a point that I still want to be in it, and so I dropped down to the place where I'm comfortable at, which was the bantamweight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's definitely your weight. And what's sort of been? I mean, so many highlights, so many titles, so many weight divisions. What sort of is one that sticks out? Is it like unifying the belts? Is it your first title? What
the first title? Yeah. It would be the first title and Montiel. Because Montiel, I was really nervous. I had a great game plan going into it, but it was very risky.
Yeah.
So between Darchinyan and Montiel, those were the ones I remember the most.
Yeah. And where are we at the moment with our career?
Well, right now, this year, I want to give it all I got. I'm going to give it all I got, and so I can't be doing anything else. At least this year only, until how far it carries me. But I'm going to focus a lot on myself, and focus a lot in just fighting, and go from there.
Yeah. Are you currently signed with any promoter, or who are you with at the moment, or are you sort of
I'm free. I'm a freelancer. I have everybody. I can just kind of hit up this person, and they're like, okay, we'll give you a fight, or that person, or this and this and that. So I have really a lot of position to seek anyone that I know for all my careers.
Yeah. got to get that Saudi money. Let's talk to Turkey.
Hey, I know that I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. You know, this
Yeah.
year, hopefully that I get that fight out there. I would show them,
Well,
you know, what an incredible warrior I am. It's gonna always be an interesting one, an
I'll mention
entertaining.
it. I've been there 3 times last year, because I've been working for Fight Hype as well, doing a bit of interviewing. So I went to both Fury Usyk fights and the Bivol Benavidez fight. So I know a few of them. So I'll put your name in there. So you got to get the Filipino Flash over here.
Hey, if you can mention to Turkey, that would be great. That would be great because I want to fight the best fight out there, and I'm
Yeah,
always willing to fight anybody. So,
I
you
know.
know, I'm there to fight.
At the moment, the pound for pound rankings are, you got Bud Crawford, you got Usyk, you got Inoue. Canelo's still got to be mentioned in the conversation. Who's your, from what I just said then, what's your order in, like, say, 1 to 4 from pound for pound
That's
number
pretty much
one?
my order right there.
Yeah,
Usyk, Crawford, the
yeah.
monster, um, Canelo, Beterbiev,
Yeah, oh,
Bivol,
yeah, but yeah,
very
yeah.
strong,
Yeah,
you
rematch.
know. So
Yeah,
it's that way, you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Canelo, of course. So yeah,
I've got my boy Bud Crawford as number one. And but yeah, then Usyk, and then yeah, but
yeah.
my
Now
yeah,
I got Crawford number one a while back.
yeah,
After the AJ fight, EJ fight, and then the way Usyk was just dominating.
yeah, yeah.
To me, Usyk
He had
deserved
a
to be
great,
up there.
he had a great year, didn't he?
But in terms of like skill wise, you
Yeah,
know, Usyk and and Crawford is the one on top.
yeah. Well, the Bivol bit of day of rematches soon. I was at the first one. I mean, that was a close fight. Very, very close fight. So that rematch is going to be interesting, obviously. And who's some of your favorite fighters at the moment? Who's someone that you would never miss on TV or go on live? Who do you?
Crawford, Usyk, you know, those guys. I love watching those guys. Those two are
Yeah,
very, very skillful. I think they're above, you know, in terms of skills, they're just phenomenal. You know,
yeah,
they're just incredible. So, and
yeah,
of course the Beterbiev, Bivol guys. I mean,
yeah,
those are all the good fight.
yeah. And sharing the ring with Inoue twice. Is he able, do you think, to be able to go up another division at all, or do you think sort of?
I think so. I think he has the power for it. But it'll diminish a lot of his power, and at the heavier weight class, they can take more shots. But he does have incredible body shots. So I think he'll make it. He'll make it in that featherweight. But the
Yeah,
guys are going to be a lot tougher up there, bigger. You know.
that's it. We always know that. I mean, that's the whole thing. My father always told me every time you go up in weight, they hit harder, and sometimes some guys can't take their power up, but I mean, some can obviously. But yeah.
Yeah.
As a trainer, I mean, you've been training an Australian, Michael Zarafa. You've been part of his career. Anyone, like, tell me a bit about that with him, and anyone else that you're training at the moment? Because I mean, you've got a
Uh,
great boxing brain. I mean, I think when you do give up fighting completely, you'll be an amazing trainer.
Thank you. Michael's an amazing guy. Zarafa, I know he has bad rep out there, but
I mean,
he's an
look,
incredible
he's a
guy.
nice guy. He
Yeah.
plays the part of the villain, but he is a
Hey,
good
and,
guy.
and and that's how you got to do it. But
Right.
Michael's an amazing
Yeah, no,
guy.
he's a good dude. Yeah.
And so I'm always there to help him. But I'm also training a couple guys out here, and
Yeah.
of course I'm training Shane Mosley Jr. as well.
Oh,
Uh,
really? I know
yeah,
Shane
yeah,
Senior very well. Sugar Shane.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I train a lot of the guys
Cool.
that are willing, and I got two more guys from Mexico who's asking me to go out there. I'm like,
Cool.
I don't know,
Cool.
and this is why I just kind of stepped back this year. I want to focus
On
on
you.
fighting
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting it, and then after that I'll go where my career leads me.
Yeah. Sugar Shane Jr. I mean, he's really come on lately. Like, he's really sort of,
Oh
like,
yeah,
early on he was sort of win loss, but he's really come on
he's
lately.
he's
Yeah.
he's a learner. He
Yeah.
loves to learn.
Yeah.
So when you have that mindset and you work hard,
Mm.
you're gonna get somewhere.
My dear friend Billy Dibb, he just got the comeback of the year after beating cancer, and I was at his fight. Well, I was at the WBC convention in Hamburg. It was my first convention. Amazing, mind you. And yeah, he got a good comeback win, and then got the award the other night at the ring. Yeah, so
that's incredible.
He's a good dude, Bill.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible.
And you obviously, I had Robert Garcia on only a month ago. You trained under Robert for a while, Oxnard.
I did in 2010 or 2009 to 2000. I don't know whenever it was, 2012, 13 or 14.
Yeah, he had a few fights. Yeah. He's a good guy, Robert. He just got trainer of the year again, so he's still he's still making champions.
Yeah, oh yeah, incredible champions everywhere. You know, multiple of them. You know, so he's doing really well.
And tomorrow my guest is Mikey Garcia.
Oh, Mike is amazing. Mike is amazing.
So I tell him,
those guys, the Garcia guys, they're like my brothers.
They're
man.
good.
They're,
like they're great people, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm blessed to to be from Australia, to be an ex-fighter now, and obviously promoting and training fighters and in the media. But when I go over to the States, to be able to meet guys like yourself and Mikey and Robert and keep contact, for me it's amazing. You're such a. When I met you at the Canelo Triple G fight, I had to. It was an effort. I remember I saw you, and I think I jumped over this little railing, and I had to jump across another. My friend thought I was going to fall at the T-Mobile. And I thought, man, I got to meet you, and you were so humble, so amazing. You probably don't remember it. Then we got an elevator downstairs, and we've kept in touch ever since. But mate, I've got to say, like, you're one of the nicest, most humblest people in boxing I've ever met.
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
Nah, God bless you, man.
See you next time.
Look,
hopefully in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna mention it. because I wasn't sure where you was with your career, but I'm gonna mention it to the Saudis
this year. Yeah. You know, I've been training hard now since the beginning. So I should be ready to fight within March or so, April, whatever's open. You know, I'm here to fight. So
Well, you're one of the greatest fighters in history. I mean, you definitely have kept the attention on the lower weights. One of the best little men of all time, and a full credit to you, mate. Thank you again.
Hey, thank you,
on
man.
a ringside seat with Tazzy, and I wish you a great 2025 to you and your family. And God bless. And
we'll see
brother.
You soon. See you guys.
Thanks, Nonito. Thanks.
All right, brother.
Bye.
See you later.
See you, brother.